Hello and welcome to this emergency episode of Now You're Playing with Podcast. My name's Chris, and this week I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Steve.
Tatton's had some family emergencies. He had a flood in his basement. Our studio is in his basement, so you can imagine why we haven't had an episode. But you really don't want to hear us bitch about our personal lives, so let's just sit here and talk about crap. I picked up today an Emerson Arcadia 2001 from Shop Goodwill. And unfortunately, doesn't have a power supply, so I can't even talk about that. But I
basically think of Intellivision, and that's it. And
yeah, I don't. It's probably
Maybe,
like in television, like after television was released already, and the artwork's terrible but awesome on the games. I have to go to Radio Shack sometime this week to see if I can get a power supply for it.
Like the artwork literally looks like Crayola marker. If you've had a kid,
Yeah.
You know what that looks like.
And the bad thing is, it came with a boxed game in immaculate condition, and it's the nice gatefold style boxes. So, do I collect the loose carts cheaply, or do I spend the money and try to get boxed games for this? It's, there's only about 20 or so games, so it's within the realm of possibility I can get them all.
I mean, I think it just depends on what you're going to be finding. Like if it is like in television, you'll find boxes, but you were saying you weren't seeing many online even.
Yeah, there were a total of 2 games on eBay at this when we were recording this. Both had boxes, but if eBay only has 2 games total, then I'm in trouble, or I need a better search engine, because typing in Arcadia, you get a bunch of like purses and shit.
And did you look at completed listings? Were there any?
I did. I just did a once over.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I guess first things first is to get it working.
What else have you picked up recently?
Haven't done a whole lot of shopping. I got a half price books coupon I'm sitting on for beginning of March for like 40% off an item.
Mm-hmm.
Hexadecathlon was a few weeks ago. We did a show after that, but it's sitting on Tatton's computer waiting to be uploaded. Steve was a champion. We can do a quick recap of that. What was your... you got your painting and your trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I got
what were your prize you picked up?
I picked up Xbox Pinball Hall of Fame,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that was it. And just basically so I could play one game, No Good Gophers, on there, because it hasn't been released on Xbox, and I've been playing that a lot.
The rest have?
Yeah, the rest are on either Pinball Arcade or Pinball Hall of Fame for the Wii.
Okay.
I think Medieval Madness is one of them that's not on the Wii,
Right.
but has been available on Xbox for a while. So
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Xbox controller for that. The triggers are just mushy enough that I preferred the Wii.
I'm used to it, but I'm afraid I've been playing so much pinball on Xbox, I'm going to break the... I've broken Xbox controllers very easily before, so that's like the only buttons I press now are the shoulder buttons. So, because I've been playing Pinball Arcade, Pinball Hall of Fame, and I just now got Pinball FX2, which is pretty great, I'd say. I was a little... I wasn't really into it that much until I played it on Corey's iPad. Zen Pinball, it's called on that, but it's all the same. And it's really good. It does a lot of things that real pinball does, but also it has just enough like fantasy stuff,
yeah.
like moving Fantastic Four characters and things like that.
Kind of like going back. Like, did you ever play Pinbot on the NES?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there was like a ball eater that if you'd got so far that there'd be these weird things in the middle of the table that would eat your ball. And
are you thinking of High Speed though? I don't think Pinbot
had it.
It had that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which is annoying though, because if you throw your ball into that, it basically eats it. There's not much you can do.
Right, and
yeah.
it was like a really good representation of it was like real pinball for the NES era, which was unheard of.
And in really any era until Pinball Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. I mean, there was some. I guess those PlayStation like big with those Pro Pinball series.
Were those based on real?
No, they weren't. But they
had the feel of it.
They looked more like a real pinball machine. Like they would actually have the LCD style scoreboard / graphics and stuff, rather than
And the tables, the machines would only be one like screen or
one
play field.
They weren't ridiculously. It wasn't like
Alien Crush
or Devil's Crush.
Yeah.
Let's see. I picked up a Wii U. I guess that's something we can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We played Tank at Hexadecathlon, and I think that was a pretty big hit. The single player game, I I finally played through it over the past weekend, and it's all right. Yeah, it's pretty thin. You unlock a lot of tanks, but you have to play them over and over and over again to unlock stuff. And there's like 36 missions, which is...
Do they give you different rules for everyone? Or
no, it's like beat all the bad guys within a time limit. There's like, weak... There's like a...
What are you doing, Daddy?
Delia, I'm talking on the podcast with Steve.
Dealey's playing
Pico.
Magic School Bus Pico.
Yeah, Magic School Bus, yes. But it's so much better as a multiplayer game. But even the multiplayer, the options are pretty limited. So it's like one of those. It's definitely not worth $60 or $50. But if it ever does, I'm assuming it will hit the bargain bins at some point. It's totally worth it if you find it for between 20 and 30. Have some friends over and play it. It's a blast for that. And Kong mode's highly recommended.
Which one?
Kong mode. One player plays as King Kong or robotic King Kong with the touch screen, and then everybody else uses Wiimotes and tries to blow you up. So it's that unbalanced sort of thing is that there could be some good games coming out for the Wii U with that idea, but like the original Wii, lots of potential that wasn't filled most of the time. That's probably what will happen with the Wii U.
Yeah, and they're already having issues with they originally had the launch window.
Right.
Instead of launch games, they had the launch window, but now even everything that was in the launch window is now out of the launch window. So, like Game & Wario, which might be pretty cool. So, but there's no release date even for that now.
I don't know. I mean, I've picked up so far Nintendo Land, which came with it. New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, which is fantastic. I mean, it's a shame that they get B efforts from Nintendo on 2D Mario games, but it is really good. It's.
I did go back and play more of New Super Mario on 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
I got it because
the
I
coin
had
version.
Yeah. I got it because I had some credit at VGMX and wasn't really into it because I feel like just going back to the well. But I did go back and play it like a good play, not the whole game, but
frankly,
I was feeling it. I thought it was probably the best of the three that I've played.
I think that's a symptom of
or the four
getting older. That we keep thinking that they're going back to the well, but if you think about it, they've only put out one game on each platform.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a
good
just
3-4 year.
They all look exactly the same.
I mean, it's but they're not. It's not like one every year like back in the NES days.
Yeah.
When you're older, time is compressed. It feels like they're already releasing PlayStation 4. It's like, well, it has been 7 years. It's
mm-hmm.
It's
even
been
I'm feeling that pressure. I mean that length of the 7 years. It does feel so long. The console cycle this time.
The one Wii U game or announced Wii U title, which was actually going back to was Pinball Arcade for the Wii U. Mm-hmm. They showed like a playable version of it. Shark. They showed a playable version with the score like the score LED display on your Wii U tablet. But I'd frankly just rather play with the Wiimote and the nunchuck because that feels more natural because you can keep your hands apart.
Could you put that like on top of your TV? Like,
I think I might try that.
Pinball machine, yeah. And you just have to look up above the TV.
You have the dock, so you could theoretically just put it up top.
That's kind of cool.
So we'll see what happens with that. But no announcement, no date, no release date. They first said it was going to be within that launch window, and they haven't even announced a time for it. They do have this cool thing with 30-cent downloads for Virtual Console. Totally worth it. So far, Balloon Fight and F-Zero have come out, and it is
one of them is going to be Super Metroid for 30 cents.
Believe so. I don't have the list in front of me, but I bought my $20 card at whatever and waiting for pinball, and I'll spend my 30 cents a month for the next 4 months getting the rest of the series. And
another interesting thing about the 30-cent games, they announced the same exact games in Japan except for one additional game, Earthbound.
No,
just to
rub it in.
Screw you. To say screw you to the U.S. consumers. Maybe someday. Actually, I'm gonna sound like total snob, but I played that game back in the day. I'm total hipster here, and I didn't think it was that great. So
I've had picked it up in the late '90s for $10.
That's a good price. That's a good price.
Everybody hates me for that,
and it's actually not that rare.
It isn't rare.
Yeah, it's just that the
if
demand
you go on
is so
eBay and type in Earthbound, you're going to get at least 15, 20 results.
Mm-hmm.
A rare game means you don't have any results at all for months at a time.
Yeah. It's just that people don't want to. I mean, people hold on to it, I guess, and everybody hears about how good
RPG people, and I've noticed in the past 2-3 years that classic gaming prices have just exploded. Like even common stuff is super expensive nowadays, and it's weird because I've gotten to that point now where whenever I go to a game store, oftentimes they don't have anything I need anymore. You actually have to go.
I'm actually getting to that. Well, not getting to that point, but recently the stores have been a little bit more bare, I think.
Right.
I don't know if it's just because they have stuff that I already have or what. I don't know.
Another silly release I picked up on PlayStation 3 was in Television Generation 2. It's unfortunately it's only through the home service. It's not on the regular PSN store. But it's $1.49 for each game. There's 2 of them. A update of Shark and an update of Astro Smash. And
now describe update.
New graphics, same gameplay is inspired by the original.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is, in a second. The good thing is podcasting gold again.
Well, it's Mickey's Clubhouse. Or, sorry, Mickey's Blast into the Past. And, let's see.
Drum roll. Will it work? Need to give it the classic NES cartridge blow.
Yay!
There you go. What do you say?
You're welcome.
So back to Astro Smash. It's kind of this... I think it's 3D graphics, but just like a 2D plane, kind of like Paper Mario looking. But it is 2D. It is an actual 2D game.
Mm-hmm.
It does look kind of like a Flash game, but the graphics have this retro shell, but it almost kind of reminds me like 50s kind of. It's really hard to describe. We'll play it when this is over with.
Okay.
For $1.49, it's well worth it. And I think now you can you don't have to download Home anymore. You just have to download a shell. And everything's on the cloud now with Home, so if you got a few bucks on your PSN account, that's totally worth picking up. It's not very expensive. Nice little update. It's what updates should be. The controls are spot on. That's the thing with most of those download games is they don't work on controls too well. Like it's always floaty or not precise.
Oh, let's talk about those joysticks for N64.
Oh yes. Steve discovered.
It was someone on Reddit posted, and I'd heard about this, but I didn't know you could just buy them and get them done and do it yourself. They're like GameCube joysticks that you. How much was it? Like $7, $8?
Something like that.
Yeah, and you just open up the back of your N64 controller, take out that horrible, chalky analog
super
stick,
thin, too high,
and plug this in, and it's basically like you have a GameCube left analog stick right in your N64 controller. So
totally worth it.
Very nicely made too. Yeah.
All right.
And I had heard that's what they were originally going for with the N64, but for some reason at the last minute they switched to the ones we know. So don't know why they did that.
Frankly, one of the reasons I hate the N64 was that stick. Too much throw, too sensitive, and then like
they break.
They break and wear down, and so I picked it up, and it actually inspired me to actually play some Ocarina of Time a bit. I actually got to Adult Link.
Mm-hmm. Is that like after 3 dungeons or
something? After
the
first 3 dungeons, and then you go to like the future or whatever, and I couldn't get into the first temple there. I haven't played it much since then, but I did give it a more of a fair shake this time, and I can't say I hate it as much as I used to hate it. I could find my way around dungeons a little bit better than I thought I could.
I won't say I hated it when it came out. I mean, I played it to completion and certainly talked about it a lot. I was a senior in high school. That's all we talked about in calculus class was Ocarina of Time. But always there was that nagging feeling that the Super Nintendo version,
Yeah.
Super Nintendo Game Boy was better. Even though I was supposed to like 3D better than 2D,
It felt
just like the.
It's one of those. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but that early 3D stuff did feel forced on us.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like they're going to start forcing the downloadable content and the no used games and the cloud server and all this kind of stuff on us in the future, whether we're ready for it or not, or actually prefer it. They're just going to give it to us.
PlayStation 4 has discs still, so.
What, have they said anything definitive about used games yet? I
No.
doubt that they would have said that.
No, they didn't say anything.
At their
about
press
it.
conference.
Yeah.
And
so you think it'll be always online? You have to.
oh yeah, there's that.
I don't see how they could do that.
Well, that's interesting because playing those Intellivision games, Gen 2 games on PlayStation Home, you have to be connected at all times.
Oh.
And I've been booted 3 or 4 times because
To play it in television.
to play a Generation 2 Intellivision game, the server disconnects or home disconnects. I don't know if it's at my end with my cable internet or if it's the servers, but they got a long way to go before they expect everybody to be online all the time with a reliable connection.
Yeah. So one thing I've been playing a lot of is Battle Kid 2, which is it's a brand new game, but it's a cartridge that plays on your NES. So it's actually probably better than most Nintendo games. I mean,
yeah, that's funny because Nintendo homebrew scene is pretty pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the better Nintendo homebrews, if you will, are actually just hacks. Like the Zelda Outlands and the Castlevania and others. But Battle Kid is the only real original homebrew that's well worth playing, and I didn't get very far in it. You actually played it to completion.
Yeah, I did beat it. Yeah,
that's good that they've got the sequel out for it. I need to go ahead and I guess they did the initial run and they haven't done a second run yet. It's been
should be coming
off
out
the shelves
soon though. But I think it's just 2 guys, like actually a couple maybe. I don't know much about. There's not much information on the website about who's making it.
Yeah, I don't hang on Nintendo age people too much.
Yeah, I mean the maker of it, he has his own website, so I know a little bit more about him. And but yeah, they had an initial run, and it's still temporarily unavailable, is what it says.
Right.
So, but it's cool. I mean, it's like Metroidvania style Mega Man.
No scrolling too. It's kind of interesting. It does have that Zelda feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Kid Icarus. I don't.
Actually, there's one game I was playing recently, Bucky O'Hare, that felt a lot like Battle Kid, and it does have scrolling, but then there's levels that every room is
one screen.
It's one screen, and you can move back and forth really quickly. It doesn't do the scrolling room thing that Zelda does.
Mm-hmm.
It just jumps, and he, the guy who made this game.
I don't think it takes away from it.
No, I mean it doesn't at all, because there's not actually that many games that are like that.
It's not. There's no loading time. The music keeps going.
I mean, each room is its own puzzle too. That you have to figure out the timing of the enemies or whatever you have to figure out to get through it. So
almost has like an 80s
rhythm.
Computer game feel.
Yeah.
But then it has Mega Man style action
and it's totally smooth. There's no glitches, bugs. There's nothing.
Controls very tight.
Controls very good. The level design is stunning. So pretty much everything about it is good. I think maybe 2 is better, a little bit better than 1, but I couldn't tell you why. It's just they're both
they're both well worth
the same
it.
kind. Yeah.
I also picked up kind of recently, probably since I've been on the show. I picked up a power pack from Retro USB. Honestly, the biggest reason I got it is so that I could play my custom RBI baseball ROMs on it. That's right. I think I mentioned it on the baseball episode, but there's that, and the new Tecmo Bowl. You could play the updated rosters on Tecmo Bowl on it. And I'm not a big proponent of piracy, so if there's like a game that somebody says you should play this, I'll go ahead and download it and try it. But I'm not going to.
But yeah, it's psychologically just not the same.
It really even playing on real hardware with the cartridge and real controllers and everything, I still just prefer to have the actual game. There are some pirates. I put Samari on it, and I tried getting the Super Mario World for NES hack on there to work, the pirate game, and I couldn't get that one to work. There's might be a mapper missing or something. And then there's also like a Phantasy Star 4
Oh.
from China that they put on the on Famicom. I
Wow.
got that working. It was kind of disturbing, like I knew it would be.
Is
But
there a Mortal Kombat? I'm sure there is somewhere. But I don't know why that jumped into my head. I thought that might
Probably.
be cool to see. There's not many fighting games on NES. Like Turtles Tournament Fighters is about it.
yeah,
For
yeah.
official games. And it's
They did.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you should turn that off before you pull out the cartridge, Delia.
There you go. What were we talking about? Pirate games. Oh, yeah. I mean, I do have the ROMs. I've had the NES ROMs for a while, but I rarely ever even touch them. I'd rather just spend money on games. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of future plans, we are going to have a table at the Korgs convention. I don't have the dates in front of me. I should look that up while I have a computer in front of me. We're going to run some game tournaments, probably have some door prizes like some T-shirts and stuff. Let's see here. Korgs.
It is May 25th. Does that sound right?
Yeah. At the...
yeah, of course, their website.
Their website's totally 1997. It's fantastic.
May 25th, yes. Yes.
And it's at, what's it, Fort Rapids?
It was a really good location last time they had it there, and back in, was it November? Yeah,
Yeah.
It was right after the
Right
election.
after the election. Totally, they've become a major show overnight because it used to be just like at a church basement.
And then it was at the H&R Block or the Jackson Hewitt.
They were in a Jackson Hewitt storefront, and they got a real space, and they had a lot of vendors to fill it up, and I think they're going to be even bigger this year, and awesome, good for them. And we're going to run some tournaments and have maybe record a podcast there or just say hi to people and stuff. But okay.
And then going backwards, June 22nd is CCAG.
CCAG in Cleveland.
That's at a VFW post, I think.
Yeah, they've been in the same location for a long time.
Which they have outgrown. They outgrew it last year, so
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're still in the same location. I guess they just like being there.
Midwest Gaming Classics in a few weeks. One of our listeners on Atari Age talked to him. He's going to wear our T-shirt there.
Cool.
Shout out to 1500 S1500. Awesome show if you can get there. Lots of pinball machines. Jersey Jack's Pinball sponsors it, so they're going to have Wizard of Oz machine there, which I really want to see. Probably just maybe more than one. I don't know, but they're going to have. I really want to play it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, do you think they'll have one at Papa in April?
Maybe. I don't know. Their Stern's always been at Papa's, and I don't know if there's I don't know what the relationship. The pinball scene's really weird because the Papa people don't seem to communicate with the National Pinball Museum in Baltimore, and they don't communicate with the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas, and I don't know the community that well, so I don't know who's friends with whom.
See, if I were Stern, I would actually welcome. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not in business, but to have a little bit of competition, it would just
Stern is up their game a bit.
It would goose them, make them, and it would make there'd be more interest in general in pinball. There was a Slate article of all places. Slate had a 3-page article on the Wizard of Oz machine, so that means more people are just talking about pinball.
Let's see. Louisville arcade game shows in 2 weeks on March 9th. I'm seeing if Tatton can make it down there, and he has a vehicle that could carry an arcade machine, so that's a possibility. Remote possibility, though. I want to get down there, but since it's so close to today's date and I still haven't made plans for it, I can't promise I'm going to be there or not. I think we also have plans to go to...
Done?
Nope. Philadelphia for Too Many Games. I believe that's sometime in the summer. We're going to make the trip out there. Tat and I kind of, between the two of us, we've hit pretty much every major game show in the country, so this is the last one neither of us have gone to.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be patient, please?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love you. All right.
So, do you want to talk a little bit more about Korgs, what you're thinking, or is that still up in the air about...
I wanted to do a big hexadecathlon style tournament, invite everybody, but I don't know what our space is going to be like. I don't know what the interest is going to be like. You'd have to charge money. you'd have to have a lot of equipment and volunteers, and I think I had some, but I think this year we'll just have a few random tournaments and kind of gauge interest about how, like, if they want to do like an all-day sort of gauntlet sort of thing, and maybe we can get our own room next time because I guess they're gonna have side rooms at.
But not with
boards.
the game Gauntlet. Just a gun.
Well,
right?
it would be, yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do the hexacathlon style. Maybe like if you pay an admission $5-10, you could play 5 games and you could play them as much as you want, and then the winner could like a split the pot thing. But it's hard to say how much interest. I don't want to like set up all this equipment and get all these people to show up, and then like 5 people be willing to pay money to participate.
Mm-hmm.
So, figure we'll just do a test run this year. Have like a single player game station with a split the pot, and maybe we'll do like some Bomberman tournaments or Choo Choo Rocket or a couple other like crazy multiplayer game. And Scott's got a projector he said we can use, so we'll see how well that works in that big room with the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be hit or miss. You've
Cool.
seen that, Scott. So I guess that's a nice size update about what we're doing. We do have some episodes in the can, but we're waiting for Tatton to come out of his disaster mode. And we have some guests lined up in the next few months. I'm not going to reveal anything just yet. But you know, we're still going strong. We're still here. Thanks, guys, for your comments, and feel free to email us, talk to us, and we'll talk to you guys later.
All right.